Let's welcome on the show a very special guest who's joining us on ET Now this evening, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, with his assessment of this verdict. Mr. Jaitley, thank you for joining us at ET Now. How do you read the verdict? Are you disappointed that the BJP has not crossed the 100 mark in the state of Gujarat?
Well, I think we should not forget the fact that we've been in power for 22 years. And after 22 years, to still get another mandate for another 5 years is no mean achievement. The second important fact is that we have, even in this election, touched over 49% vote, 49.1 to be exact. Ordinarily at 49.1% vote, victories are more landslide. But this time the statistical conversion of seats has not pro rata to that extent taken place. We must also not forget that this election was vitiated by the poison of casteism. And therefore, that itself became an important impediment as far as a healthy campaign was concerned. And therefore, I would say to the credit of the BJP that we fought well, we got a very high percentage of vote, which is an approval rating, and we won an absolute majority, which I think is a great achievement as far as the party is concerned.
Fair point indeed, sir, but I think one issue that certainly concerns you and certainly should come in as some form of relief is that despite all the talk on the GST and the pain and the anguish and the job losses and the disruption that it caused, the party seems to have done very well in the GST impacted constituencies, whether it's Surat, whether it's Rajkot, Ahmedabad and all of those, the urban trade centers. That I'm sure must be coming as a huge shot in the arm, a huge sigh of relief.
I think that was the GST campaign was a fake campaign. I call it a fake campaign because the pre-GST taxes, including the ones which were imposed during the Congress governments, were extremely high rates of taxes. In fact, if you see the standard rate of taxation on various commodities, with the cascading effect, it used to come to 31%. Now, we reduced after GST 17 taxes into one. Instead of a personal interface, we put everything on software so that it eliminates harassment and corruption. And the rates were brought down from 31 to 28 and finally to 18 for most of the commodities. So it came down. I think the traders also trusted us for the fact that we are trying to simplify procedures. Now a very complicated, difficult, high taxation regime has been made simpler, which is trade friendly, which is economy friendly. And to base an electoral campaign on that, I think was a misreading of the campaign. And that is why all GST impacted constituencies are the constituencies where the BJP has not only won, we have swept by a very large margin. Urban Surat, for instance, we have won 12 out of 12. Baroda, Rajkot, Jamnagar, Ahmedabad, we won most of the constituencies in these major cities, which were the trade centers. And therefore, I think GST really had ceased to be an issue.
Mr. Jaitley, what about the performance of the Congress party in rural Gujarat? Out of 127 rural seats, Congress has won 71 and BJP has won only 56. Does that in a sense reflect that there is a fair amount of stress in the farm sector? And will the farm sector now get top billing when it comes to policy priority? Will rural distress really be the key area of focus of the government and of the finance ministry?
I think this is not a uniform pattern that has emerged. The Congress hasn't done well in 3 regions. In South Gujarat, in Central Gujarat and North Gujarat, the BJP has improved its position. I think in about 3 or 4 districts, because of certain local factors, we came down in Saurashtra, and that is what impacted our seat tally. So that the Congress can't claim to have done very well across the state. And this is evident from the fact that Congress had 4 senior leaders who were contesting the state assembly election, and each one of those 4 lost and lost convincingly.
You know, the reason why I asked you that question really was, and that's why at ET Now we do give some importance to the question on your focus on rural area will be because the central government so far has resisted to give into temptations of a MSP rational hike or resisted temptations of a farm loan waiver that some of your state governments have done. The question really is, will you continue to resist that?
I think there are the Indian farmer needs to be helped. This is a recognition which has always existed, and the fact that we have been putting a very large part of our resource into rural India is because of that realization. We shall continue to do that.
Mr. Jaitley, stock markets were a little anxious earlier this morning about 2019 not being a cakewalk for the BJP. Markets had largely priced in a BJP victory in 2019, and now there seems to be some concern on the back of a better performance than expected by the Congress. Does it add to concerns of 2019 not being a done deal, and how would you allay those concerns of the wide section of the investor community?
Well, I think for 2019, first, politically, it means something very important. It means that the string of victories that we've had since 2014 continues. We won both the states which went to the poll. We won both by a reasonable margin. And I think we continue to strengthen as far as the geographical footprints in the country are concerned. And certainly our track record is one where we have given to this country one of the best fiscal disciplines ever in history. And I don't see any reason why we should slip away from that.
Okay, so no slipping away from that. Is that a big message and perhaps a big hint for Budget 2017? I wonder if that is. But on that note, sir, thank you very, very much for taking time out and speaking to us right here at ET Now. This really is a big day as far as both the BJP and the Congress are concerned, and we're lucky to have the Finance Minister dispel some of the air on whether the government will turn populist from here on. Thank you very much, sir.